Thank y'all very much. You know, normally I know we've been in here a while, and I love for when you talk about things to be very brief, especially at this time. But I want to take a moment because I'm so honored to be here. This has a very special meaning to me. Because there's so much to celebrate about SF Jazz and your achievements over these last 40 years. From a two-day Jazz in the City festival with a $10,000 grant in 1983, to year-round concerts in 1993, to joining with the San Francisco Jazz Festival in 2000, extending the season into the autumn, to forming the Collective in 2004 and bringing so many important musical voices around the world, to raising money and the interest of the community to build this fantastic facility we are seated in tonight and inhabit this entire block of space. And across the street with the fabulous Chuck Stewart photos that create a special jazz feeling on the landscape, to the thousands of concerts that have been played across these years, and in all venues all over this city, to your response to COVID by building an online platform with so many members and getting money into the hands of struggling musicians through it all. Well, let me talk about the years of educational programs. Now also the education programs are online for all types of people on all levels of participation. And what about all the great musicians you presented the right way? The incomparable Abbey Lincoln, Dave Brubeck, Bobby Hutcherson. What about your commemorative concerts, like the 50th anniversary of A Love Supreme? Innovative concerts like Joe Henderson meets Zakir Hussain. And what about the 25th and 50th anniversary performances of the great Duke Ellington's Concert of Sacred Music at Grace Cathedral in 1990 and in 2015. And tonight I've been told that we're having our most successful gala. I want to thank Chairwoman Denise Young. I want to recognize the gala co-chairs, Bruce and Hala Kozad, and Lisa and Kenny Jackson, whose warm and welcoming home treated us so hospitably last night. And of course, what can we say about Randall Klein? Man, I know this has been a labor of such love, and you have done a magnificent job of making so large a dream actually become real. Congratulations for a very, very difficult job. So well done. Now give Randall something. Receiving this honor is extremely significant to me because both of our organizations actually have the same mission: to raise the soul quotient of our nation and the world through the art of jazz. Yes. And when you look around, Terence was talking about it, Wendell talked about it earlier, we talk about it all the time, and you see all the problems in our country. We don't have to enumerate them yet again here tonight. We in our nation are crying out for a way to communicate with each other across belief systems and across isms. And we need something meaningful to say when we actually begin to talk to one another. Jazz provides us with both of these things because it was born in the briar patch of post-Reconstruction America. And jazz is not bothered by thorns and thorny problems. It's at home. This music is about communicating and expressing your freedom regardless of cost. Lester Young taught us that. It's about accepting responsibility for yourself and for others. Benny Goodman taught us that. And it's about thriving through tough internal and external difficulties. Betty Carter taught us that. Jazz music is about a feeling of community so strong that it is familial. So tonight, I'm grateful to be engulfed in that feeling. And there's so many ironic touch points of family in here. Madam Chairman Young graduated from Grambling University, which is my mama's alma mater in northern Louisiana. And she walks in the full regalia of soulful dignity that comes from there. Bruce is an old friend and trusted colleague. He also sang in the choir. He's a philosopher who so understood the music he named his company Jazz Pharmaceuticals. Lisa Jackson is also a New Orleanian. We graduated the same year. She sang in the choir in high school, but unlike us, she was the valedictorian of her class at St. Mary's Dominican High School. And she's also a scientist. Last night at the end of the reception, as Lisa reached into her refrigerator after a beautiful evening full of food, and she said she was going to cook for me whatever she had in her refrigerator as a nightcap, we laughed and talked about our mamas and all they put into us about understanding and the meaning of respect and acuity, good manners, and other ephemeral but so palpable values. And I was moved almost to tears in reflection of the journey of Lisa and her husband. It's interesting. This is written what I'm reading. Terence talked about a journey. I had no idea he would talk about that. I think about the journey of Bruce and Hala. And I think about the power when you put those two journeys together. And then let's think about the journey of Denise and of Randall and of SF Jazz to this moment here tonight. Now, for those of you who still wish to support, the night is still young. And to Catherine Russell, I want to thank her. I was once feeling the weight of the world on me, and I was on another dysfunctional subway in New York, stepping over homeless people to get into it. And I was just standing there, packed with people. I looked up, and who was standing there? Catherine. Man, it was like the sun came out. I just hugged her. People was looking at us like we were crazy. And I didn't want to let her go. We just looked at her till her stopped, and it was just, I reflect on that moment. She lifted my spirit with her knowingness. And I want to thank Terence and Wendell. They weren't lying to y'all. We are truly brothers. Damn, I love them. I'm going to give y'all two stories. And there's not those type of stories. They gave the good young, they gave the good young stories. They gave the good young stories, but I'm going to give a good old story. And it's about their artistry. You know, and Terence's composition teacher, Roger Dickerson, and my father, Ellis, they were the deepest of lifelong friends for 70 years. You can't believe it. Musical, intellectual, and spiritual engagement. When my father died, he and Roger were getting ready to study some scores of some music they had. They called me after seeing Terence's opera Champion. My father called me, and I'm not exaggerating. He talked for 2 hours about how great Terence was. 2 hours. I attended Terence's opera, Fire Shut Up in My Bones, this fall at the Met. And through the opera, just the intelligence of his choices and the depth of the decisions he made, the artistry, the dedication, the mastery that he exhibited, the feeling in the hall, the house, the mastery of form. I'm telling you, when he went on stage, the thunderous and well-deserved applause, I started crying. And I wanted to shout out, "That's my homeboy." And I'm just talking about this moment. Many a film score record for our whole lives. You know, I always loved and respected this man. He is a man of great depth and soul. You hear it in his playing and in his music, but he was always like that. We're not faking up here. He just always in school, high school, playing. I played concertos, and Terence was playing piano accompaniment. Okay, he can play the hell out of piano too. I'm afraid to touch a piano when I'm around him. I saw Wendell in Death of a Salesman in London's Young Vic Theatre. I can't look at him because I start crying. And I'm not joking about it. When I went backstage to see him, people were there. But I actually was crying so much, I had to just turn away. I mean, what could I say? Just sitting there looking at this man do what he did and think about the journey we went through, all of what our people put into us, the depth of it, and the belief they had. And our people all grew up in segregation. You didn't hear them whining. They didn't like it. But they prepared us, and they were for real about the depth and the power of this music and of artistry. When my mother died, Wendell flew from Toronto to New York. He came with a libation. And we poured that libation out on the ground, and then we drank it. And then I went back into a concert, and he flew back to Toronto. Those 5 minutes, that was a lifetime. It was, so with this calling, you know, it's a calling to express your soul. In our music, everything is personal. And we all have parents and teachers and mentors and friends who gave and give us so much that we try to explain, but the words are not enough. If we're lucky enough, we have the opportunity to create that feeling in others, and what we create stands in for the words. So I want to thank all my younger musicians. Isaiah Thompson, Philip Norris, Damo Branch. Damn, I love them. I love them. I've known them since they were in high school. I heard about them. I love them. They're so for real and serious, and they're the future of this music. I want to thank my young people I play with who I don't know in the orchestra, the type of feeling and love they played with. And I want them to know that there's a lot of jazz yet to be played. And it's going to employ all types of grooves and forms and time signatures and integrations of different music forms. But the one element that you must hold above all others is this feeling that has guided SF Jazz all these years. Community is the highest calling. Love is its calling card. And balance is its destination. So I speak in closing on behalf of Jazz at Lincoln Center, on behalf of the board, the staff, orchestra, and the members. We're all so much richer for the blessing of SF Jazz and what has been created here. Next year is your 40th anniversary, and it's the 10th year of this hall. This is an important milestone in American culture. Jazz at Lincoln Center has come here and been treated with so much respect and feeling by this organization that whenever we come, we feel as if we are also at home, and we say it, and we walk on this bandstand in that way. And this night is no different. It's so full of love and feeling. I'm eternally grateful. I will never forget, and so are we all. Thank you so much.
Wynton Marsalis, ladies and gentlemen. Wynton Marsalis.